with the 2020 NFL season coming up, questionably, rather, because we all know with everything going on, we don't know if we are even going to get an NFL season. So this video could end up being pointless in a month or so. But the NFL is still sticking and saying that there will be a season. So here we are with the 53-man Pittsburgh Steelers 2020 roster prediction. Again, we don't know if we're actually going to get a season. Hopefully so. The NFL has already canceled 2 weeks of the preseason. So we're going to be getting a later preseason, which is fine by me. I mean, it sucks that, football, we have to wait a little longer for football. They already canceled the Hall of Fame game for next year and the ceremony, which pisses me off. Pisses all of us off, to be real with you. They canceled 2 weeks of the preseason, so we're only going to get 2 weeks, one home and one away game for each team. So, and, the whole sports world is just dreadful right now. They had to cancel/delay the NBA season, the NHL season. MLB's trying to get started up. It's crazy out there. So the way the NBA, MLB, and NHL, however those go on and how they work out with their direction and how they're going to address this later this month, later July, could really and definitely determine if we even get an NFL season. So I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, this video might be pointless in a month's time from now, but here we are, 53-man Pittsburgh Steelers roster prediction for the 2020 NFL season. Let's get right into it, man. Obviously, we're going to go from quarterback and start all the way down. We're going to start with offense, then go to defense, of course. We're going to go to the quarterbacks. Of course, we have Ben Roethlisberger, Mason Rudolph, and Devlin Hodges.
Yeah, we chose Devlin Hodges because he has that starting experience and experience in general with this offense, the coaches, and the players surrounding the offense. And I do think that Hodges and Paxton Lynch do have the best shot at being the Steelers' number 3 quarterback on the depth chart. But, again, we just really thought this through and thought that Hodges' experience is what's really going to benefit him the most.
Yes, because
into getting the roster spot.
Right, because, like you said, the experience, the starting experience, the chemistry he already has with some of the young guys and everything. So that's definitely going to give him the edge over Paxton Lynch. However, I would not sleep on Paxton Lynch possibly sweeping that third quarterback spot away from Hodges and what could be a revival, I'd say, for Lynch. Now, of course, not the first-round talent that the Broncos traded up for. He's not going to be starting material. He's not going to be a franchise-driven quarterback. But it could be a revival for him in terms of being a pretty steady backup. Whether that happens or not, training camp, which will be happening, hopefully, will definitely determine that later this month and then going into August and everything. But we're still going to go with Hodges here. Lynch could see time on the practice squad as an emergency quarterback, of course. But we'll see, man. But we're going to stick with Ben Roethlisberger, Mason Rudolph, and Devlin Hodges as our 3 quarterbacks going into the 2020 NFL season.
Yeah, so nothing different from last year's quarterback. Now on to the running backs. We got James Conner, we got Benny Snell, we got Jalen Samuels, we got rookie Anthony McFarland, and we got our new fullback, Derek Watt.
Yes. No Kareth White. And I would rather keep Kareth White than Jalen Samuels, to be honest with you. But I think that Samuels is still going to find his way onto the roster just because he provides more on the field. And for Ben, I'd say, although I like White more than Samuels.
Yeah, because White last year, with how dreadful our offense was, he was one of the flashes that this offense desperately needed.
And he was incredibly underutilized and incredibly limited on that offense. But he still sparked some big runs, some big plays, even in the return game as well, which could be competition for Ryan Switzer. We'll get into that later, of course. But no Kareth White. Like he said, we're going to stick with James Conner, Benny Snell, Jalen Samuels, Anthony McFarland, and, of course, Derek Watt as the fullback.
Yeah, but just like Paxton Lynch, I wouldn't sleep on Kareth White possibly earning a roster spot, possibly even having 5 running backs. I would not be opposed to that.
Depending on how they want to balance this 53-man roster in terms of position, I don't know. We could see that happening, especially depending on what they want to do with the kick return ability, knowing Switzer's lackness in that, I'd say. But then again, we'll get into that right now. With the wide receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson, who's going to be an absolute stud, James Washington, Chase Claypool, Deion Kane, and Ryan Switzer. The reason why we still say Ryan Switzer is because he is pretty much, for some reason, Ben likes him. I have no idea why.
He's good friends with him. He's very close. They've been training since Ben's been able to throw.
Yeah, so he, like when that video came out of Ben finally throwing for the first time after his surgery. It was him throwing. It was Ben throwing to, I believe, Juju, Connor, and Switzer. So Switzer's making the 5th three-man roster, whether you like it or not.
Right.
So
Which, I mean, I feel like Switzer still has some talent. He's just non-existent whatsoever. And he does rarely anything on special teams.
Honestly, in my opinion, and look, Switzer's a cool guy off the field. You know, if you follow him on social media, he's a real cool dude and everything. But on the field, he has got to be the most, I'd say, pointless, but also, what's the word I'm looking for?
Non-existent?
Non-existent, but I don't want to say effortless, but it looks like he has no idea what he's doing out there. Now, I'm not saying I could go out there and do better than him because I know I fucking can't. Switch is a pro. I'm just a computer warrior, a keyboard warrior is what they say. But, I mean, I don't know. It's just when I look at Ryan Switzer, especially in the return game, he does nothing.
Right, exactly.
But he's gonna be on the 53 just because Ben likes him. He has that power.
Right, of course. But the other receivers ahead of him are definitely going to get more playing time and more targets to be thrown for Ben, if that makes any sense.
Switzer could see time in 4 or 5 wide receiver sets. He could see time, of course, in the slot, of course. He could see time in the backfield like he did back in 2018 when he first joined the team. He's obviously going to see time as a return specialist, which is why I think we get him and Kareth White going in that battle. But, I mean, it still probably won't matter because Switcher's going to make the roster no matter what. But
yeah. Now we go to the tight ends. We got Vince McDonald, Eric Ebron, and Zach Gentry.
So nothing new outside of Eric Ebron, of course.
Who I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does with a future Hall of Famer in Ben Roethlisberger, considering what he did with Andrew Luck 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When Andrew Luck was fully healthy and Ebron went to the Pro Bowl.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see how he does in a double tight end set with Vance McDonald, kind of like how he did when he was with Jack Doyle. And I look back at Vance's breakout year 2 years ago when he had Jesse James with him.
Yes.
I feel like if you have Vance and Ebron do them double tight end sets, they can both succeed in some kind of way on this offense.
Especially with Ben at quarterback. Like you said, we saw what Vance could do with Ben as quarterback. Eric Ebron, he was with a quarterback-friendly or he was with a quarterback that was very friendly to the tight ends and used his tight ends consistently with Andrew Luck. So put Ben in there with him. We know how much Ben loves his tight end, so I'm excited for Ebron completely. Gentry would just be a depth piece. Could see time as a extra blocker, goal line blocker.
Yeah, see how he does in his development.
Right. So now, of course, the offensive line: Alejandro Villanueva, Steven Wisniewski, Marquise Pouncey, David DeCastro, Matt Fielder, Chuck Wilmore-Okorafor, Zach Banner, and Kevin Dotson, the rookie. I think that's a real steady offensive line right there. I think there is, age in there. Of course, our offensive line. It's no secret. Our offensive line is aging. It's from last year. It's getting weaker, but I still think we have a very consistent and steady offensive line. And with Ben coming back, they're gonna perform top notch. Matt Fielder is very versatile. We could play him at left guard and right tackle. I'm hearing that he might get reps at left guard, which could mean a position battle for Chuck Okorafor and Zach Banner at right tackle. So I don't know. And we have Steven Wisniewski, who could replace that B.J. Finney versatile role depth piece, who could also step in as a starter, who is very dependable. We've seen that, especially in the postseason when he was with the Eagles and the Chiefs last year. Very dependable starter. So, and of course, Kevin Dotson is the rookie. Could get his feet wet and some rotations maybe, depending on what they want to do with the offensive line. I don't know. But I really love this offensive line group that we could have and what could very well be with what we just stated here. A lot of youth, a lot of, there's youth there, but there's age, but at the same time, there's enough, youth to help out the...
Yeah, there's more experience than youth, but does have a lot of versatility and a lot of talent.
Yes.
And I truly believe that this is still one of the top offensive lines in the league.
Absolutely. So I'm excited for this offensive line this year to see who steps up, who takes up the next spot, next man up and stuff like that. So
yeah, no doubt.
Should be interesting.
Now we got the defensive line. We got Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, who's coming back. We got Tyson Alualu. That was a loud-ass fireworks.
Even
the 4th
though
of July was literally just yesterday.
But here we are, still fireworks outside, so.
Anyway, we got Tyson Alualu, who Tomlin did say that he's going to be taking the first snaps in training camp at nose tackle, so that should be interesting considering he does have experience there when he was with the Jaguars.
Right. In the last 2 years when he stepped in for Tuitt, he's been very steady, so I'm comfortable with him being the nose tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. Now for the depth, we got Chris Wormley, we got Isaiah Buggs, and we got Daniel McCullers. Now,
Not Carlos Davis.
Yeah, we were contemplating possibly putting Davis in there, but he's inexperienced. He's only a 7th-round rookie, and don't get us wrong, he has a lot of upside. He has a lot of talent and a lot of upside, but McCullers, just like Devlin Hodges, his experience is what I think is going to benefit him a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, McCullers only... He just sits there. He's just an inactive for literally all 16 games.
Yeah,
but when he is active, he literally gets a tackle a season.
Pretty much. You know, he's that one guy that for some reason survives cuts. Like, it's happened for the last 3 years. Like, we all say, okay, the Steelers are going to cut Daniel McCullers to make room for this guy. He's not going to make the roster this year because of the nose tackle we drafted this year. And he still finds a way to survive.
Exactly.
So it could happen again this year, although I would prefer Carlos Davis over him. But then again, Davis is unproven. McCullers, for some reason, the Steelers like him. I don't see it. I know he's a big body.
I mean,
he helps on special teams, but I just don't.
I will say this: ever since Carl Dunbar has been our defensive line coach, he has been playing a lot more and more of those like he's nothing but a run stopper, and I think that's goddamn.
We were fighting to have Davis or McCullers.
Yeah, but again, it's just his veteran aspect, and I think that's what's going to benefit him a lot. Although he's probably going to be inactive all 16 games.
Right. However, Carlos Davis could definitely see time on special teams, definitely get his development going. And we'll see what that does for him in the future. It's very interesting to see Alu get first-team reps over Isaiah Buggs, which I kind of expected just on that veteran aspect and what he's done on the field when Tuitt was out. But hopefully we see Buggs step up, maybe take that role eventually in the season, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, me and him are definitely high on Buggs. You know, he was definitely a top-notch talent in our honest opinion at Alabama, and this is definitely his year to step up and show what he can possibly do for the Steelers defense.
Right, but we'll see what happens, man. Maybe they split reps with Alu and Buggs and see who shines more. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be one of those quiet battles for training camp, and I'm looking really forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, of course, we move on to the linebackers, which I think is one of the best in NFL right now, with Devin Bush, Vince Williams, Ulysses Gilbert, Robert Spillane. That is inside linebacker. We're going just linebacker overall, outside and inside. Inside... Yeah, outside of Bush and Williams, it doesn't necessarily look all that great because of the inexperience and youth Gilbert and Spillane. Also, they're, I'd say, undetermined, but also you don't know exactly what you're going to get from them.
We don't have experience depth like we did last year with Barron, but I'm glad Barron's gone because he literally valued nothing to this defense whatsoever.
No, he didn't.
But I am definitely looking forward to see how Ulysses Gilbert does coming off his rookie year, which he was injured in. But when he was in preseason, he made a lot of plays. He made a lot of splash plays. He looked very promising.
He looked great in coverage, man.
And this is his time to step up big time with our lack of depth inside linebacker.
Right, and of course the rotations we always like to do, especially with Williams getting up to age. So if Gilbert continue to show promise in camp and preseason, I could see him splitting reps with Williams. We see Bush and Gilbert. That's a lot of speed right there in inside linebacker. You got coverage ability. You could trust in both guys, more so Gilbert, and plus he has the height advantage. You can use Bush on that side-to-side speed, sideline speed guy, of course, that we all drafted him for. So
right.
And, of course, Robert Spillane will just be pretty much Tyler Metcalf's replacement in special teams. So,
yes. And,
of course, we have the outside linebackers, T.J. Watt, Bud Dupree, Olasunkanmi Adeyemi, Tuzar Skipper, and Alex Highsmith. So, if you had to ask me, I think we have one of the better overall inside and outside linebacker cores, I'd say, just based on, Bush is just going to keep growing, which is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Vince Williams is incredibly underrated. Now, he's not a top-notch guy, but he has been very steady for several years now, from being depth behind Lawrence Timmons and stepping in for when he left. He's been incredibly steady. Great run stuffer, great blitzer, great special teams guy. So, and of course, we all know what T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree are capable of. So, that alone really excites me there. Plus, we have young depth that are just going to keep growing as well.
Exactly. Now we go to defensive backs. Now let's start with the cornerbacks first. We got Joe Hayden, Steven Nelson, the Uso Penitentiary that we call them for you WWE guys out there, because they are locked down.
Yeah, anyone they cover is going to get locked down immediately. So that's what we like to call them. Joe Hayden and Steven Nelson. The Uso Penitentiary is what we like to call them.
Right. Now we got Mike Hilton. We got Cameron Sutton. We got Justin Lane, who's still in development. And we got Trajan Bandy, the undrafted rookie that we signed after the draft. He's definitely a guy that I'm going to be looking forward to in training camp.
Yeah.
Because I saw his college tape, and he looked very physical.
Yeah, he did.
He looked very physical. He has a lot of talent, and he's definitely an interesting prospect to look at because Mike Hilton is coming into he's only a 1-year deal. He signed his restricted free agent tender. He's done that for like the past 2-3 years,
right?
And we don't know if we're going to be re-signing him.
Which I doubt it because we also have Cam Sutton next year. He might get the tender as well, but you can only tender one of them.
Exactly.
You tender Hilton, who has been looking for a long-term contract. He's been coming into work. And absolutely deserving that contract. So credit to Hilton for not only winning the contract, but still coming into work and working his ass off. So credit to Hilton for that. But you also have Cameron Sutton, who is definitely a reliable option. Looked real good last year in those dime packages and nickel packages when he stepped in, man. Absolutely. Like, when you look up his PFF stats, now I don't really pay attention to them because I don't think they're incredibly accurate, but still, when you saw him on the field, man, he was great. He was just a sticky corner.
Oh, yeah.
And it's such a steady tackler. Made some big plays on third downs and deflections and everything. So
absolutely.
I would be absolutely comfortable with having Sutton take over Mike Hilton's role if that ever comes down to it.
Right. And last year, in my honest opinion, I felt like he was kind of limited because of the experience of Mike Hilton at the nickel cornerback role. I feel like if you give some more playing time in those dime packages and nickel roles,
which we'll see a lot of,
I think Son could definitely open up a lot of eyes, in my honest opinion.
For sure. And Trajan Brady, he's just I said Brady, Bandy, excuse me. He's of course a depth guy. He'll be the number 6. He'll just fill in depth for cornerback, but he'll be a special teams guy as well, along Justin Lane, of course, to keep getting his growth going. I think the plan for him, of course, is to keep him growing and developing to eventually take over an outside starting role, whether that be filling in for Hayden, who is getting older. He's still great, but he is getting older. Steven Nelson, maybe, although I can see them getting a extension going to balance out his big cap hit after this upcoming season.
Right.
But, again, Hayden's getting up there with age. We all know his injuries. Although we all know how great he is, how still consistent he is. Quarterbacks around this time, around his age, start to fall. So we got to be careful around that. Justin Lane, hopefully his development continues to grow and looks promising. Although he was raw last year, hopefully this year is different and he can start outside Nelson or Hayden or whoever down the road. So that's pretty much it. Now, of course, the safeties.
We got Minka Fitzpatrick, the GOAT. Think of Miami.
Yes.
I'll say that to the death. I don't care.
Yes.
Number 39.
We have a
right
little
there.
sneak peek over here. We'll mention that in a later time. But Minka Fitzpatrick. We have Terrible Edmonds, who for some reason has us blocked on Twitter.
No lie. Here's the actual proof right here on screen.
I don't know what we did or said to, deserve this, I'd say. But, I mean,
we're not wrong.
I wouldn't say so. Maybe we're a little harsh, maybe. But, I mean, we should be honored. Because, I mean, this is like the first time we've been blocked by a Steelers player outside of Ben. But Ben doesn't control he has no social media. It's just some, I forget who it is, but.
Someone controls his Twitter. We were blocked, but now we're unblocked. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you,
Emmons
Ben.
has us blocked, but whatever.
Yeah, so.
Hopefully he steps up, but.
If he doesn't, we have something in line for him. And we're already writing some shit down, so.
Yeah.
Jordan Dangerfield and Antoine Brooks as depth. Antoine Brooks could see time as a dime linebacker alongside with Ulysses Gilbert, which should be interesting to see there. So, and of course, special teams, we have Chris Boswell, Jordan Berry, who for some just survives another. I don't know why he's still the punter, but I just think he's gonna make it. And Cameron Kennedy as, of course, the long snapper.
Yeah, so nothing different in special teams. Boswell definitely stepped up big time last year after his debacle performance in season 2 years ago.
Yes.
And he was definitely a big shining star to a debacle and terrible Steelers offense. He was definitely needed. So Boswell definitely stepped up big time, and I'm really looking forward to see if he can be consistent with that.
Of course, absolutely, because we know the Wizard of Boz is back. Hopefully we start, like you said, we start seeing more of that this year, especially with returning Ben. Hopefully we see a lot of Chris Boswell, not in terms of 3 points, in terms of extra points, but, I mean, we'll see what happens. But that is the 53-man roster prediction, man. Let us know your guys' predictions down below for the 53-man roster, man. Let us know your guys' opinions down below, of course, as well. So if there's any change-ups you would do or make or anything, go ahead, like I said, put it down below, man. Real interested to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions and predictions, of course. And see you guys in the next one, man.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.
Peace!